Now, if there's any one thing that Sunrun does better than any other solar company that I've seen throughout the world, it is because of their... Today, we're going to break down the solar juggernaut Sunrun and how they go about their online lead generation in order to generate $922 million worth of revenue as they did in 2020. So here we are at my computer, and today, as I mentioned, we're going through Sunrun. These guys are one of the big solar powerhouses in the US market. I'm going to go through their Facebook ads, their Google ads, their website, their landing pages, so on and so forth, so you get a great idea of just how these guys go about their online marketing. You and I are going to dig deep into the what, the why, and the how they go about their marketing. I'm going to show you step by step exactly what they do and how they do it and why they do it. But if you're looking to improve the marketing within your solar business, the easiest and fastest way is to like and to subscribe to this video. That's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but hopefully this video provides you enough value in order for you to like and subscribe to this video. With that being said, let's jump into the breakdown. Just before we get started, I just want to reiterate that these videos can be a tiny bit long. They're jam-packed with value, of course, but there is video chapters in case you're hunting towards a specific type of marketing, such as Facebook, Google, what have you kind of thing. So you can skip forward and, have a look at the most important parts that relate to you specifically. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to touch upon, which is a little bit different to some of the other breakdown videos, is Facebook. These guys are doing a fair bit with their Facebook ads. And let's just run through the types of ads that they're running, the text. We'll watch some of the videos and we'll have a look at the landing pages. So one of the first things that stuck out to me was, hey Dallas. They're calling out the geographical location or the people that reside in that geographical location. Then they start talking about power outages. So potentially, I don't live in the Dallas area, probably understand that by the accent, but they're probably taking upon or leveraging upon some form of topical relevancy. So potentially there's been power outages in the Dallas area. So they're pushing that emotional angle of frustration around power outages, etc. Not only that, we'll see that they also talk about protecting oneself around the raising costs in utility bills, specifically power. So we can see that the ad imagery here complements perfectly with the ad text. We can see it's a home. We can see the power is obviously on. A bit weird that you can see right into, like the kitchen area kind of thing. Probably a bit of Photoshop there. But we can see that everything's brand congruent in terms of like coloring, etc. They're also featuring the battery, which is the most important part to this kind of ad element because they're talking about outages, etc. But if we scroll down, we'll start to see some videos and things like that. Now, what I'm going to do here is I chucked on some headphones really quickly. I'm going to go through some of their ads. Now, these guys are taking people through a process, a sequential process. They're essentially going out and just asking potential spouses for a date, like real, just no rule. There's some strategy to it, but they're just asking over and over again. So they're telling Facebook, here's the people that we work really well with that don't know us. We want to show them a first initial ad. So just ask them for a first date. If they show interest, I want to take them on sequential dates. I want to take them on a second date, a third date, so on and so forth. So let's just have a look at this really quick 9-second ad, and we'll get an idea of how they're kind of pre-qualifying people to take them to that sequential dating process.
With solar, you can enjoy the calm that comes with control. Take control of your energy today with Sunrun.
So this doesn't really talk about Sunrun all too much. It's all about taking control around like power outages, etc. So they literally say that we're just about here, take control of your energy. So this would be really relevant and congruent with that Dallas-based ad, etc. So this could be like a bit of a 1-2 punch. That first ad that we looked at would be the second punch. This would be the first punch. So people who watch potentially all this video because it's only 9 seconds would see that follow-up ad. But they actually do this in a better and more strategic way. So with this ad that we're just about to watch, we'll see some fear-mongering, which is around rising costs and power outages, and we'll also see a testimonial. And we'll also see the testimonial strategically mention the things that Sunrun wants them to mention. Now, it's really important when you are getting testimonials that you can essentially tell the person what you want them to say. But, without me, alluding or, banging on about, all these, different principles, let's just see Sunrun demonstrate it.
Grid down. Some had power outages and outrageous energy bills, and some whose power never stopped.
There was no downtime at all. Solar power is the way to go, especially with battery backup.
The difference was Sunrun. Power through.
So we see here some fear mongering, especially early on. We see like big numbers, racking up kind of thing. And then we also see a very nice image here where it looks like everyone's lost power, but except for this home, which doesn't appear to actually have any solar if you wanted to actually poke a bit of fun at them. But this is, it's a really good way to demonstrate the ultimate desired end benefit that the customer wants, and that is, if I do have an outage, I've still got power. Now this next ad does an even better job. So this ad would be the second, third, or even fourth touch point in the dating process, or that marketing sequential sequence kind of thing. This ad, or this gentleman here, he really does hammer home some of the key features of Sunrun. It's a pretty well crafted ad that's really, really simple. So no real high production value or really high like editing skills. But once again, like a really nice and well crafted ad. Let's have a look.
I really like the fact that we can lock in our rates for 20 years. We had wanted something that was energy efficient, and this just kind of complemented that, mainly because it's the right thing to do for the environment, but also the fringe benefit is it saves money in the long run. It leaves cash available to save for their future, for college expenses, which is also continuing to inflate and increase over time. So yeah, it definitely makes us more comfortable with raising 2 kids.
So this is again another pretty good ad, and I think they've controlled the narrative in which what this gentleman is saying. I'm not saying he's not a customer, whatnot, and I'm not saying that this gentleman didn't get the benefits that he just stated. Let me just wander off these headphones for a second. But they are controlling the narrative, which is really important, and I'm all for kind of thing. The more control that you can have, the better the outcome will be. And we'll see like this guy's touching upon like the 20-year control over pricing, so it gives you a great sense of expectation. That's a really, really nice feature for the customer kind of thing. Then he starts talking about the environmental factors, then the financial implications, having money for college, etc. It's difficult with 2 kids and just having that excess cash kind of around. So he's speaking to the emotional part, but he's also speaking to the logical part as well. Now this is a great kind of lesson for anyone in the marketing or no matter the industry, and I love how these guys are going about that sequential process, and I see this working fantastically well for my solar clients. And I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm stealing things from the top guys such as Sunrun Solar and just delivering that to my clients. So the last ad I want to touch upon is this gentleman here. Now, the ad text is about PG&E rates increasing year on year, switching to solar and control your energy costs. Now, let's just have a little look about what this short little video has to say.
Getting tired of those, $700-800 bills, especially during the summer when, it gets 100+ degrees out here. Getting solar panels up here, you don't have to worry about that. Same payment all the time. Every month you can budget. If you're on a budget, you can do this. If you're not on a budget, it's still nice to just get the same bill every single month. I'm all in. Saves money and saves the planet.
So this one is much more down the logical route. The guy's talking about 100+ days, so stinking hot days, essentially. 100. I mean, in my country we work on Celsius here in Australia, but 100 is damn hot. And so that could be going to people like in Arizona, some areas of California, Texas, etc. There's many hot states. So you wouldn't be showing this in terms of like Michigan or something like that, where it's it's pretty damn cold for or pretty damn cool for 2/3 of the year kind of thing. So there's an element of personalization. He goes through the financial implications, etc., and he also is tying it back to the emotion of not having to pay $700-800 bills when it's 100+. He's all in. He gets the same consistent bill each and every month, and that's just easy to create budget around. You're not going to have bill shock. But your ad creative is just the first part of the puzzle. So there's definitely big gains to be had by having a good ad creative and good targeting. If you're trying to sell something. This may be politically incorrect, but if you're trying to sell weight loss to skinny people, you're going to have a bad time. So I can't talk about their targeting, but I'm pretty damn confident, I was about to say I guarantee, but I almost guarantee that these guys are using custom and lookalike audiences, etc. They may be going completely broad, but because these guys would be spending, I would be really, really nervous to say that these guys are spending under 6 figures. These guys are definitely spending 6 or 7 figures a month just on Facebook. And then when it comes to ad creatives, you've got so many components around testing text. You've got testing ad creatives in terms of the image, and also ad creative in terms of the video. So saying the same thing, like we've seen multiple times in the Sunrun videos, saying the same thing but in different ways. So measuring the result in how you say things, because some audiences will resonate in one way that you say things, and some audiences will resonate with another way that you say things. But the next component is the landing page. So let's have a look. Now, if there's any one thing that Sunrun does better than any other solar company that I've seen throughout the world, it is because of their testing philosophy. These guys are testing multiple ad creatives all the time. They're testing multiple landing pages all of the time. There is absolutely no reason why any company should not be doing that, because the incremental improvement is absolutely compounding, and it's like it can give you literally exponential growth, because 4 improvements of 19% in any process, be it a marketing process or an engineering process, will double the output. So if you have better targeting, you have better ad text, you have better ad creatives, you have better landing pages, better follow-up, better first initial sales call, better proposals, better follow-up of the proposal, retargeting. I mean, there's multiple different touch points, and you only need small single-digit improvements in order to double the amount of leads that you get in any particular medium or platform. And when it comes to your marketing, there are way more touch points than what I just alluded to. But when it comes to the landing pages, and I'm going to go through probably about another 4 or 5, I think, landing pages as opposed to this one when we get into their Google Ads, and we'll see a whole range of different A/B split tests that these guys are running, really trying to squeeze everything they can out of everything that they're doing. But when it comes to this landing page in particular, it's short and sharp in a way, so I can't scroll. So I'm literally trying to scroll. You see no scroll bar. I'm just going to put in here a generic zip code, and we'll just see where this carries us. So I've literally gone with the old TV show 90210 because I'm not American and I cannot remember a zip code to save my life. So whenever I have to put in a zip code, I always go with 90210. So let's see what happens. So we immediately go down to a couple of questions. So there's a couple of other questions, and I'll show you what the first email looks like, which is kind of interesting because it contradicts some of their other marketing. So yeah, that's pretty funny in a way. Like, even though these guys are, are generating $922 million in revenue per year, and their marketing is probably the best solar company I've come across thus far, they're still making some things, some mistakes that I feel like they shouldn't be doing, and I feel like they can be doing some things even better. But when it comes to this page, we have the first one. Do you own your own home? Now, if you're in the solar industry, you know why you're asking this, yes or no. Of course, we're going to go with yes. What is your average electric bill? Now, it's just a slider, pretty simple. We're just going to leave it. It doesn't really matter. I have changed this slider. It doesn't have a bearing on the questionnaire. So we're just going to go through. Where can we send your solar quote? Now, I've already filled this out, and I'm going to show you the email, but it's a really quick form. And the really crafty thing about this is that it's like kind of like the sunk cost theory. The more you invest, the more you feel like you're compelled to actually finish the process. Even though it's not a great deal of time just to click a couple of buttons, when someone does that, it's a couple of micro kind of actions, and they feel like they're committed to the process now. Not only that, it's giving you as a solar company, or Sunrun in this case, the qualification that they need to suggest that they've got a good prospect as a lead, so they can therefore invest the time in order to sell this person. Now, I've taken a screenshot of the email, so it's a pretty simple email. There's nothing really going on. I always use Ben in case anyone has a bit of a laugh that I spelled my name wrong. I just think Bren's too unique of a name, and like if anyone ever found like this, they could kind of like look me up kind of thing. And as much as I'm on YouTube, and this will sound ridiculous, I do like I'm like a private person kind of thing. So I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but nonetheless, let's have a look at the email. So we have hi Ben, and then we've just got some generic text, etc. There's nothing really going on here, except like this funny little part here. They say 270,000 plus happy customers. In all of their marketing recently, they're saying 500,000 plus. So that can be a little bit of a like incongruent. So like some people will be like, hang on, are these guys liars kind of thing? Is it 500,000? Is it 270? If you're gonna do something, always do it less kind of thing. And it always looks weird when like the lie comes after the commitment, in my opinion. So like you're saying 500,000 everywhere else, and you'll see that within the Google Ads and on the website especially. But then you say 270, it's like, it just rubs me the wrong way kind of thing. But then they give you a great sense of expectations. And in my previous videos, etc., I always talk about expectation. Like Uber does really well with expectation. That's why, you know, Uber and companies alike are smashing taxis. It's because people love to know what's coming next. When is the Uber getting here? People hated not knowing when the taxi was getting here. I'm old enough to still realize like what it was like to wait for a taxi, annoying as hell. Where these guys are saying that a Sunrun representative, bit of a tongue twister there, will be calling you, etc. The representative will ask a few questions and you'll receive a free design proposal that shows you, etc., etc. This gives the person a peace of mind of what to expect. They can kind of loosely mentally prepare, kind of like a really good simple email. And I would not steal it per se, but like this is like a good template in terms of a framework to create your own email in terms of your follow-up sequence. Okay, so moving on to Google Ads. I'm using a software here. It is paid. I'm not affiliated with them. I use it because, well, it works. It's called Ahrefs if you're interested. I'm not sure if they have a free package at all. I don't even know what it costs, to be fair. So, yeah, if I was a spokesperson for them, I'd be terrible. But I use it because I like it and I'm familiar with it, and I've used it for who knows how long now. So let's have a look at their Google Ads stuff. So let's just have a look at their top landing pages first, because I think this is the most interesting. So we can see here through the naming conventions that these aren't normal kind of relatable names. So we can assume that these are dedicated landing pages and that they're testing them. So let's just have a look at the first couple. And let's just quickly scroll through them and we'll just see the differences. Now, when I said earlier that this philosophy of testing is the reason why these guys are doing so well, I really do mean it. These guys have a multitude of different landing pages and they all are loosely based upon that framework of pre-qualification through a very simple 3 sets of questions, email, and then the follow-up email. So we'll just go, we won't go through the questions because they're all the same. I've tested that off camera, so I've saved you some time there. But then we see the 500,000 claim here. I'm not saying it's false, but it just contradicts the email. And then, so let's just go through. So we've got take control with Sunrun. Choose where your power comes from. Join 500,000 customers. Experience the power of the sun, etc. So social proof in the 500,000. Take control with Sunrun. So taking control of you know, your bills, etc. No bill shock, etc., etc. Choose where your power comes from. I don't think that they're doing a very good job here. I think that within the solar industry, if you're in the solar industry, you understand these lines. But if you're not, I think that these could come through as a little bit, what do you mean? It's a little bit like, I don't have all the information because I'm not part of this industry. I don't think that's ideal. I'd be testing something a little bit different. But on the other hand, maybe people are filling in their own meaning to these two sentences. So potentially I'm wrong there, but the marketing principle would be to don't leave the customer wondering or the prospect wondering. So on this next one, we see a longer landing page. Now we see safe, clean, quiet, affordable solar battery storage. Get the best long-term solution for powering through blackout. So this one is purely about you know, solving that problem of outages, etc. And it's around that, you know, battery storage capacity. And this one we'll see in just a moment, but we see a lot of generator search terms within their Google Ads. So this page is geared for those types of words. So the principle here is that you want your landing pages to be as relatable, relevant, and congruent with the search phrases that people will be coming in from. So if you're selling dog training kind of thing, like to put this in a different way in a simpler means, and you've got ads around German Shepherd dog training, send them to a German Shepherd landing page. If you've got beagle ads, beagle ads for beagle training, send them to a beagle landing page kind of thing. So that's kind of that principle that you really want to be doing really well with your own marketing, and that these guys are doing fantastically well. So let's have a look at this subheadline. Don't leave your home, energy needs to chance. Go solar with battery storage. Home batteries that are automatically refueled by the solar panels, which means you don't have to worry about having an extra supply of gas on hand for when the power goes out. And you know, click below, etc. So click to calculate the savings, and then we wander straight back down to this, and we can't actually scroll up, which is kind of cool. So I have to refresh, but then we just go about people answering the question, we go through the content answering the question of Sunrise Brightbox battery storage versus backup generator comparison. So it's selling the idea. Now, this is like really cool in my opinion, because it's the problem that people have is going through outages. So they're saying that the best long-term solution is battery storage, and then they're giving you the reasons why it is better. Now, I do marketing for solar companies. I don't know the technical details all that well. This could be absolute baloney. Could be the greatest idea, since sliced bread. But without a doubt, this is the right way to do it for those potential keyword phrases when people are looking up for when people are searching for generators possibly, but you're selling something that is not a generator. So really some really cool principles here, and I urge you to pause if you want to read the text, etc. So, just feel free. And there's another call to action down the bottom as well. So again, this one is think solar only works when the sun is shining, think again. Now this is probably one of like the common questions that solar guys get. It's, what happens if it's a cloudy day, etc. I know the answer, but you guys are getting this all the time. And this page is about also the generator. So it's also talking to people about that are thinking about getting a generator as opposed to a solar battery. So this is bringing up that theme of solar battery storage in order to get people through those outages. Now, this landing page could work quite well with the landing page and ads on Facebook around power outages, because some people might be thinking, if I've got a power outage and it's cloudy, will this still work? So this could be a great landing page for some of the Facebook retargeting ads, so that second date, third date, and they might be using that with like RLSA, which is retargeting list for search ads, which is in relation to if someone has searched for if you're a solar company, if they searched for a solar-based keyword phrase, visited your website, but didn't do what you want them to do, you can tell Google that if they make another search that's related to solar, I want to bid 30% more because I've already had one interaction. They're more likely to convert with me as opposed to anyone else. It's called RLSA. It's a really powerful tool within any industry, and you don't spend a lot of money, but you get a hell of a lot of bang for your buck. So again, it's about squeezing everything you can out of everything you've got. So the sub-headline, Brightbox is a solar battery service for your home that allows you to use your power when you want and when you need it most. Store excess energy to keep your lights on at night during a power outage. Avoid paying peak, time, rates, etc. A really well-crafted sub-headline. I do not like the idea that it's white text on like I just never like when you get to the text around this section here, it's on the house, it just makes it a little bit harder to read. I like when there's a bit of a darker box around here, but again, you get onto the concrete here or the paved kind of driveway here and it becomes difficult to read again. I think like black text on white background just reads better, it's easy to read, but nitpicking here, there's not much to nitpick, to be fair. These guys are doing a fantastic job. Again, we come down to the questions, so we'll just move on from this landing page. The next one is power backup to prevent blackout, switch to solar with battery storage from Sunrun. Don't let prolonged PG&E outages leave you in the dark. Go solar with battery storage systems from Sunrun and keep your lights on even when there is an outage. Again, it's just a different headline to these ones, etc. And it's just really simple, clean. You know what to do. The call to action is obvious. It's actually detailing the customer's desired end result from clicking the button, so which is calculate your savings. I think that we see it's all the same all the way through. And the last landing page is take control with Sunrun, choose where your power comes from. Very similar. I think it's almost identical to this page, or is it identical? I think it's just the actual, it is actually the image, background image is changing. So we lose the home from the ground level kind of view, and we also lose the Tesla, but when we come from above and we get to see all these solar panels, which has only just occurred to me that this is social proof. So it's like all these people are back in solar. Why aren't you? It's a really cool kind of presupposition based image. I like that a fair bit. So I'd be wondering to see what is the difference between performance of this and this. So parts of these videos are prepared and some parts are not prepared and done off the cuff. So yeah, really cool. It wanders all the way back up here. So I wonder what the difference is. So when it comes to the keywords though, we see a lot of cool things that relate to landing pages. Again, you want your landing page congruent, as I mentioned to you, with the dog kind of scenario, congruent with your keywords. So landing page keywords congruent. So we see Vivint Solar, which I think is a subsidiary for them. I did have a little bit of a nitpick into their financials because it just seemed like 922 million was abnormally large in terms of revenue, but it's true. They're probably a listed company, I think. Oh geez, my memory's gone to crap just there, but I think they're publicly listed. But I did see that they are generating over $900 million a couple of times, so I'm sticking with it. They do have a couple of subsidiaries though. They do sell the brackets that that hold up solar panels. They do have a consulting arm as well, so I'm not sure how much of that 922 is just Sunrun, but I'm going to assume that it's a fair bit. I don't want to get into the business model because I think that's possibly a video each and of their own, exactly how the business model extracts money out of the solar industry. A really cool kind of concept in my opinion, but we're just talking about the marketing here. So we can see here generator-based keyword phrases. So let's just have a look just how many generator-based keyword phrases actually appear. So we see tons of them. They're bidding a ton on generator and they're all going to the generator landing page. These guys are doing a fantastic job, really, really top tier, the best I've seen in the solar industry. Probably the best. I've looked at hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses in depth in the construction, contracting, solar industry, etc. These guys are probably taking the top prize in all of a long time, 14 years or whatever, kind of doing this stuff. So we see a lot of Tesla-based stuff, a lot of the stuff that you would think that you would see. Now we do see some interesting things, when it gets to real informational, solar energy, informational keyword phrase, big search volume, low percentage. They're not bidding on these generic kind of solar kind of keyword phrases as strongly because they don't work as well. When it is product specific, they actually go after them quite aggressively, and that's where we can see solar batteries, solar power system, and then even though that generator is not what they sell, it's still product specific. So again, they go after them at a reasonable rate. Now, when it comes to their Google ads, we see a whole realm of testing again, tons of different ads, and nothing too I would say revolutionary, but just some really good hardcore principles here. So we see that this ad is receiving the majority of the traffic. Along with this one, there's no real difference between the two, but let's just break down a couple of their top tier ones. So don't let unexpected outages interrupt your day. Switch to solar, etc., etc. So just pretty much generic, going against fear kind of thing and frustration of outages, and then backing up the benefits around energy costs and things like that. We actually do see some other kind of variations in terms of this theme a little bit lower. So we see here, power your home through outages with our rechargeable solar battery systems. Keep your lights on, food fresh, and your family safe when outages strike. $0 or little down. I like this ad. I think it's I'm not going to say it does better than this one because they're sending more traffic to this one in terms of percentages, but it's a good one in terms of principle. Power through outages. So it's saying it's future pacing that you will get through them. You will get through the outages smoothly with our solar battery systems. Keep your lights on. So it's adding that kind of deeper level dimension to the problem. So food fresh, family safe, etc. And then the logical one, $0 down or little down. Then we've got another one here. So we've got, now is the time to switch to solar and protect yourself from utility rate hikes. So again, fear, we do not want to be paying more for power. I mean, we're going through the same thing here in Australia. Power prices are going up and up. The same kind of theme is working well here in Australia with my clients. It's working everywhere in the world. Power's just going through the roof in every country. But as we get into the second half of this ad, in times of uncertainty, let Sunrun help manage your home energy costs, free upkeep, maintenance, etc. Now that's really cool because we see in some of their other Facebook ads that they do talk about free maintenance, and then we see here again 500,000 customers. But the free maintenance thing I think is kind of cool because I think people are definitely worried about. I know that they are, but trying to say that like I should know this. I mean, I work with people in this industry, but people are definitely worried about like what happens if I get damage. Tree falls down, hail, debris flying through the air in storms, etc. What happens if my solar panel gets damaged, etc. Obviously, got wear and tear, things like that. But I really do think that this free maintenance and upkeep is fantastic. They do have some pricing models, which I'll comment on in just a few moments' time. But these guys are doing a great job. These guys are definitely the benchmark that I've seen, and I know I've said that a bunch of times, but it's a really good idea to really narrow down on what these guys are doing and trying to emulate. Don't copy, but emulate what they're doing. So here we are at their homepage of the website. Now this is where I think they actually don't do well at all, which is quite funny in some ways. So we see here, customize your plan for your home, not related to solar. Actually, like above the fold, like we don't see much about solar. Actually, like here, like are they actually a solar company? Like the panels blend into the home. It could be a new home construction company. It could be an architecture firm. It's really hard to know other than potentially Sunrun and see solar costs. So we have the headline, which definitely could be a great deal better. Like they could be stealing these headlines, like and using them here. Now the next cool part that they do though is it's generally not the principle to have two different calls to action, but when on a homepage you're getting a whole a whole multitude of different types of visitors. So you've got new people, you've got people that are into the middle of their solar research process, you've got people down the bottom of their solar research process, and they're almost ready to pull the trigger in order to purchase and work with a solar company. That we get a free quote and we see solar cost. So this one's much more like hard aligned, like you're ready for the quote, etc. If you're not ready for the quote, see the solar costs. So let's just go through see the solar costs, and we just see very much the same type of questions as we saw before, except we see a couple of different questions, mostly relating to these three. Whereas if we see get a quote, we go to pretty much a generic quote form, which is kind of cool, and this is on the homepage as well, which we'll touch upon in a second. But while we're here, let's talk about it. One of the few times that I see in all of my time in the solar world, construction and contractor world, where I see that value is associated with the form. So this, I always look at this as a transaction. If I'm going to fill this in, I'm going to give you my personal details and my time. What am I going to get in return? You're going to get this, and this. Fantastic. Like these guys are just like really good, like really good. But let's wander back to the homepage and let's just start going through it. So they've got a couple of payment plans, which I'm all for with contractors in construction. Like solar and many other construction contractor services are among the most expensive things that people will ever buy. So making it easier for people to get into those markets is just a no-brainer. So these guys have monthly lease, full purchase, and monthly loan. So your representative will probably lead you onto their most preferred option, but ideally they're leading you into an option that suits you the best. As we scroll down, we see the call to action form, and as we scroll down further, we see solar education, solar incentives, solar plans, and services. I just want to have a look at solar, these three elements, but most specifically, I want to have a look at solar education because it is interesting. All of these articles, except for just a handful, are around indirect selling. So why solar batteries may be essential during times of crisis, solar battery generator, how to get through the next outage. This one is more information on how solar panels produce electricity, 5 reasons. Home solar is a no-brainer. These are all indirect selling. So you read this, you're moving closer to the solar decision that they want. So really cool, and we just see more and more of these. And I did see in the past that these guys were running traffic to blog posts, and then no doubt getting that retargeting marketing strategy in play, taking people on their second and third dates. But they don't seem to be doing that anywhere near as much. They were doing that at the start of 2020 and the end of 2019. So we can see that their strategy has evolved because they're testing. Like testing is where the money is. And I just cannot stress that enough. Then we get into state rebates, and the call to action is related to the state rebates, and you can have a look at them all individually. So a lot of good information here, and I think I opened that one twice. And then we've just got this one here, which is solar plans and services, which just reiterates the different types of plan and program options that they have to get you into a solar business. A solar panel installation solar business. You get the idea. After putting my foot in my mouth just then, I just want to thank you for going through this video with me. It's been one of the best breakdown videos I've seen. I did spend a fair bit of time going through these guys. These guys are doing a fantastic job. I just want to reiterate that I do have additional videos just like this about other solar companies, other construction and contractors as well, that would be no doubt useful for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. And if you want to learn more about how good marketing practices and strategies can be applied to your business, if you're a solar company or no matter what company, you can reach out to me at brenhamel.com. Scroll down here and you can book a free chat about your marketing. You and I can spend 10 minutes to an hour, even longer at times, going through what's working for solar people right now, what's working for Sunrun, what's working for my clients, and how can you do it. There's no sales pressure whatsoever. It's about providing as much value as I can about what's working, what you can do to generate your leads. If you want me to do it, fantastic. If not, hey, I enjoy these conversations as much as anyone else, believe me. Like, it's just fantastic talking to people about their business, their story, etc. What's working for them, what's not working for them. I love those conversations. I have anywhere from a dozen to half a dozen every week, and it's pretty much the highlight of my day. So if you want to reach out, reach out. If not, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, guys.